All right, here we are, guys. Hole number 4 here. So I'm going to go with Thor's hammer here again. Just so, you kind of see a different perspective. It really shouldn't matter what club you have or use. I use very little curl on this hole. I use, very little of anything. One thing that's going to be pretty uniform, especially off the tee, I'm going to use a +2%. So what you'll see is I'll do just a little bit of an over adjustment. It helps to account for the downhill nature of this, plus landing well beyond the target. So to be honest with you, it's not really, probably very accurate when I use plus 10%. It's just giving me a nice estimate. It's probably, at least 20% landing down. So it's going to land very, very, very farther down, especially once you go to full max overpower. You can see that you're shooting down to a lower target, plus not to mention that it's going well beyond the actual bullseye target. So at least landing, 20%. But, with these huge fairways, you really don't need to be all that precise. So it really doesn't matter what value you use. You could use 10, you could use 30. It's really not going to matter. But in terms of what it's actually probably flying, it probably is flying probably about, 30% downwind. So, in this situation, I'm going to be kind of looking at, 7 rings. So I'm just kind of visualizing, 7th ring down being towards my center line there that you saw in the center of the screen. Aside from that, I'll use a little bit of curl and just try to focus on getting, as close to perfect ball and just shooting up past into this tree line shadow here where I'm beyond the trees and give myself a very easy either long iron or min wood. So you want to really get it down here a little bit farther. It's going to give you a little bit better angle. So here I'm setting up here, and I'm going to use probably a minus 10% for my next shot. This is very unusual. This isn't something I commonly see people do. A full backspin shot on this hole is quite unusual. But it looks like I may, have my first short drive to where I actually will probably need the sniper. It'll be very, very close. But here you can see my opponent. If you've seen some of my other guides, this is what I've been talking about all along. When you move down to that lower ground, it's going to play significantly less than otherwise. Here, you're going to see me put in my wind. I'm going to play very close to this min ring adjustment, somewhere down in here. However, and you can see there's min. What I usually do here is about, maybe about 3 backspin, kind of keep my ball guide long intentionally. I need to be very careful not to go more than, this min type adjustment, because when I move down to a lower target here, the ball's going to resist coming back as much. So here I'm going to go the 8.8. Off towards the left. Had the perfect ball, would have funneled a little bit more better off that hill. But do be very careful with your ring adjustment. As I mentioned, it will shoot down that hill more if you're not careful with your ring adjustment. And you want to make sure that you don't make a mental mistake on an easy hole like this that could be eagled. You want to make sure that you definitely don't par on this hole. Now, granted, I was assuming that there was no way that my opponent did because I'm playing a replay. So the likelihood of getting to a shootout on this hole with 2 pars is very, very small, because there's not going to be very many mistakes on this hole. So that's one of the reasons. just something to be thinking about, for your round. So good luck with that one, guys, and I'll see you guys on hole 5 coming up.